Speaking of AI, how do you think that will shake up the industry?
It's just so interesting with AI and when it comes to tech.
You know, the spam filters are constantly changing and everything, so you need to constantly adapt to that. And
Little technology bumps like that can really boost productivity.
AI tools sort of there to help make our jobs easier.
But it's still me interacting with my client directly.
You've mentioned some tools, some technology that you guys are using. Are there any new technologies that you're implementing right now that you think will make a big impact on your business?
we've been testing a lot of different things with AI, as that's becoming a more and more common thing to do. We're also testing with new email providers constantly because the spam filters are constantly changing and everything, so you need to constantly adapt to that and just try new things. New email providers, new different sending cadences, anything like that. Just constantly trying new things. Different places to get prospect lists from, things like that.
And even just new tech tools that make our team faster. We recently started using Asana, which just was great to put tasks in. And it's little technology bumps like that can really boost productivity on our end as well.
Mm-hmm. Or even note-taking AI systems. So
Yes.
during a meeting, a client may talk at 1,000,000 miles a minute and I can't type at 1,000,000 miles a minute. So having an AI tool to sort of help break down what was said. And then some tools will even provide deliverables that you can then provide to the client as a recap of the meeting. So to say, here's some action items that we talked about, here's timelines that you can expect them to come from me. So that way there's no pressure on you to get every single word and every single breath that they say down on a sheet of paper. That the AI tool is sort of there to help make our jobs easier. So that way we just focus on how's the client feeling, how's the meeting going, where can we steer the discussion. So that way the note taking is sort of subconsciously happening because we have a tool helping us to do it.
Do you recommend a tool? Which one are you using currently?
We're currently testing a few, but Read AI has been one of the big ones that we're using. Again, it's just so interesting with AI and when it comes to tech because sometimes it's okay to have it on a meeting and then there are other times where you're like, I don't know how I feel about a piece of technology listening to what I'm talking about with my client. And some clients will ask us to remove the note-taking feature from our calls, which we obviously respect. And then sometimes we use our own sort of common sense to know when it might be a good time to use it versus not a good time.
So speaking of AI, how do you think that will shake up the industry? What do you think will be the changes, let's say in a year or so, when AI becomes even more embedded in your workflows?
I think a lot of people are thinking about copywriting with AI in particular, using it a lot. I don't know. I think on our end, there's a lot you can do with AI, and I think originally, we've been challenged in ways that you can utilize AI that are a little outside the box or not. I think just asking it to write an email, I would not recommend going that route, but there's different ways you can utilize AI to help you personalize or get creative or even just generate your own thinking. But little ways like that I think there's going to be a lot more content when it's easier and easier to write personalized emails or personalize them in some degree. So I think just how you do that in a way that's different and outside the box will continue to be where we lean in.
I think that the bottom line is it's still just a tool. It just matters how you use it and how you can learn to manipulate, adding in prompts and everything like that. It it completely changes what you're going to get out of the AI. Mm-hmm. So I think that
and
it's still just a tool.
Realizing that it's not a perfect thing yet.
Yeah, I know with AI, a lot of people fear about it and have fears about will it replace me? Will it replace human jobs, human interactions? But I think one of the biggest changes in the trend and industry in approaching with ChatGPT coming out and a lot more stronger AI tools than have in the past is that those tools are there to supplement and to sort of assist you in making your job easier as opposed to replacing your job. Because to Jenna's point, you don't really want to rely on AI to write an email for you, but for creative inspiration of, what's a funny subject line that maybe AI can suggest 1,000 different ways to say. But at the end of the day, you're the one putting in that idea in the first place. The AI isn't coming up with it for you.
And it's important to keep it personal as well. AI, it's best to, use it as a supplemental tool, so that way you still have that personalization of I'm writing the email to my client, and just maybe using it to help me think of something creative, but it's still me interacting with my client directly.
But I do think we innovate and we change a lot as a company. So even what we were doing 5 years ago looks very different from what we're doing now. And so I think to be using AI and experimenting with it and trying different things is always helpful, because maybe there's things that it can do that you never thought of, and just being familiar with the tools and knowing how to use it, I think, is important as we all adapt to the changing marketplace.
Do you think there's going to be something that it's going to force lead generation agencies to use AI, like in a year or two?
I think it could be. I mean, I think AI gives you some scalability and like muscle to be able to do some things, but I think just that quality check, I think it's only going to get better over time. But I don't know if like creativity of being, I don't know how creative AI can be if it's taking like the knowledge of everybody all together. Like, I think you need more out of the box thinkers that are going to be different than the AI, but maybe I'm sure it will use it in ways that we don't expect now. So.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned that depends on the data you put in, right? If you just ask it, like you also said, write an email, then the email will try to find you well, because this is the majority of the data has been like that. So that's what it learned from it.
Okay, since we're talking about tech, let's talk a bit about Woodpecker. What's your favorite part of Woodpecker?
I think I love, I think just the user interface with all of it. It makes it very clean and easy to use and fun. I like bringing it on the screen with my clients, just sharing the screen to show, here's exactly what we're doing and here's total visibility. And I think with Woodpecker, having guest viewer options and having, breaking down the stats of the campaigns for us and just making it an easy way to do a lot of hard tech things all in one place is kind of helpful for us, and to see all of our clients in one spot is a game changer.
Oh, I'd say my favorite part about Woodpecker is the AI response checking, because I feel like that saves us so much time. We used to have to manually check through everything, and it would take hours out of our day. So I think that's been a huge innovation.
I think Woodpecker also being able to pool everything in one place. So clients have multiple email inboxes that without it, we'd have to go in and individually check, whereas Woodpecker just brings everything together. All of it's in one place. All the campaigns are in one place. So.
And I just love working with your team, because I feel like, we give feedback and, everyone has feedback, but it feels like every time there's a new product update, our team gets excited, because it's something that I feel like you've listened to the experiences of your clients and made a change that's fun for us to see.
Could you dive a little bit deeper into like how Woodpecker helps you organize your work? Like from a day-to-day basis, when you start your day, like how does it help you to organize your day? Like, what are you using? Which steps are you going through? Which sections are you using? And how does it help you work day-to-day work?
I think it's like trying to explain to someone how you love like Facebook or something, where you're like, I use it every day. I'm like, okay, let me think through. Like, it's becoming a lot intuitive and just part of our campaigns. I think signing in every day, looking at clients by client basis and comparing how results are doing. Overall, looking, how much data is left in the campaign to continue sending. How are the open rates doing? How are the response rates doing? Is this working? And I like that there's a lot of different ways you can view that information on the tool right now. So just popping into the deliverability tab, I can kind of see lots of different insights into what's going on. But just keeping track of it, so many clients all in one place, and being able to select who I want to view at one time or compare is just helpful for our team.
I think it kind of helps the different sections of the company work together, having everything all in one place. Jenna can check, the open rates or something and say, hey, that something like doesn't look right here. Emily, can you look into it? Then I can go in and check like deliverability tabs, bounce rates, things like that, and see if I see something wrong there. I think it helps a lot just having everything all in one place, and we can all kind of collaborate together. Yeah.
There's transparency.
Absolutely.
You mentioned that if a tool becomes so good that it goes into the background because it's like a second Facebook for you, right? Now, let's imagine a situation where you wouldn't have Woodpecker, and how would your day-to-day work look like?
A lot of Excel files, I feel like, would probably be the result of that. It'd be a lot uglier. My eyes would probably be squinting at little spreadsheets.
Tabs and tabs and tabs of different email inboxes.
Yes.
We'd have to get very organized quickly in a different way, because you help us stay organized, and so much data and visibility and reporting, all of that lies there. So we see, how are the campaigns doing? How are the clients doing? Who was contacted? What was their response? Like, so much of it is in that, where as we continue to build out our tech stack and get more advanced in that, there's going to be more email inboxes or more and more layers to the tech and the prospecting and how we think through things. So it's just helpful to have it all in one place and all the tags on the data to be able to sort through all of it and things like that.
So basically, it would be chaos.
It would be chaos. I'm like, oh my gosh, please never leave.
I can imagine. Oh.
Okay, so if you could name one thing, maybe each of you, if you feel comfortable to, that it gives you, that you feel like is the biggest advantage you have when you use Woodpecker for a lead generation company like yours, what would it be?
I'd say for me, probably just having all of the inboxes in one place. Yeah, because just logging in and out all day long would be horrible.
Okay.
I think having like all the data and all of the statistics and all of the reporting like all in one spot, so you can show clients, as Jenna said, you can share your screen, show them all of the statistics and the data, and also, you know, if I see that a client isn't doing well, I can just go over to Woodpecker, look at all of, like invalids are high or there's a lot of bounces, and it just like, I love all like the data and the statistics, and that aspect is huge.
I think your team does a great job answering like commonly asked questions. So even your blog has helpful information, but just the whole website is intuitive. And so when I am wondering what's going on, often there'll be a little like eye icon that if I hover over, it'll tell me information of like, what does this number mean? But I think overall, just keeping the campaigns organized from data, copy, results, tech, all of it is very helpful. And the little tips and tricks you guys give to help us be better as well.
And the chatbot.
The chatbot, like my favorite part.
I love it. Put in a question, 30 seconds later, you're already responding. I love it.
And it's not AI.
Exactly, it's perfect.
Yeah, I think going off of what Katie was saying with the data, I think it's just easiest to be able to tell a client like, oh, this is the number of bounced emails and invalid emails in this campaign, and these are the exact numbers, and we can even see the exact emails of where these came from. It just also helps us to prepare and provide the most accurate information for our clients as possible to help them be successful and then help us be successful too.
If I had to go in 10 different inboxes and tell you how many were bounced or delivered, like that would be really hard.
No.
That would be impossible.
Yeah, and I think also like the visuals, like the diagrams that you guys even provide in the platform are also helpful because I'm a visual learner. So if someone were to ask me, what is the percentage of 653 out of 698? I could not tell you. Could not tell you. But I see a nice little circle with like 95%. I'm like, oh, I know it's 95%. Like I know just from that. And then for clients too, we just want to make it as easy as possible for them. So having those pictures too just are also really helpful.
From the perspective of your role that you have at Veth Group, how would you describe to someone in the same role Woodpecker to them? How would you describe Woodpecker to them?
The most perfect organizational tool for everything in one spot.
Yeah, I would say just kind of the central hub of everything of like check what copy we're sending, check what, deliverability reports, just anything you need to know in Woodpecker.
I would say you're doing lead gen without Woodpecker ? Like what are you doing? How are you
like
how are you
is that
doing
even
this
possible?
without them? Like what else? Because Woodpecker is perfect. What else could there be?
I think for someone else, so I'm customer success facing role, I think I would just say that's our portal for all of our clients, for each one of them. And so to be able to look at success and have a little window into what we're doing, I mean, it's like a window and a door to be able to send through and really helps us do what we do.
Because it really does put the three main aspects of the campaigns, the data, the copy, the tech, all in one spot. And I think that's just huge. I couldn't imagine having those things like separated out and having to be on top of all of them separately.
You're making me really appreciate Woodpecker as I'm thinking about all the ways I'm like, I have never thought about all the little things that the platform does that I appreciate.
That was the goal.
Yeah.
Like if Woodpecker were to shut down right now, we would be
I don't know what we
in quite
do.
a pickle. Wink, wink, but no, yeah, we would.
You mentioned a lot of Excel files and tabs, right?
Yeah. There'd just be a lot of homes for a lot of different things.
We need to hire some data help.
So you've talked a lot about building relationships with clients and about the clients. On the same note, and yet on a bit of a different note, was there any situation or let's say most difficult client, and what did they teach you?
I had a client when I first started at Woodpecker who was just personality wise, just very straightforward and kind of tough on our team. And I just remember being one of my first clients and just always wanting to please the client and make sure I'm doing everything I can, but they just were asking a lot. And so I think through that experience, I learned kind of how to set professional boundaries as well, and how to kind of mirror the client a little bit of like what they're asking for, and understand like why they're asking these things and how to get to the heart of those. But they also pushed me to do a lot of requests that I said yes to, but through doing those things, I learned kind of more of our limits of what we can do and what's possible and what's helpful and what's not helpful. So I always think it's helpful. It's great to have those clients who you love, who are super kind and they don't ask for too much. But it's also good to have clients that help you grow and learn and push you to try new things, because you learn a lot through the experience. So I think just learning how to have a relationship that's a win-win for both of you, where you're both winning together and pushing for success together, and how do you communicate what that looks like and set expectations well.
That sounds like a really, really useful experience to have when you're starting out in a new role.
And just confidence, like here, you're coming out of college in a customer success role. It's a little bit intimidating talking to these business leaders who are very technical and intimidating at times, but to be like, I actually have a product that has a lot of value for them, and I have something to offer them through our working experience, and just being confident of why should I be afraid in this situation, or like I can serve you well, and I should never feel like you need to back down. And I think we have a company culture and a boss who always has our back, and so if we ever have a client that is too far over the line, I think we just we'll decide not to work with those clients to protect our team as well, which just gives a lot of confidence of like, I believe in the product we're selling, I believe in our company and what we're doing, and that we can help people, and so how do we love them and serve them in a way the best that we can.
Imagine you have the power to make one challenge go away. What would that be from your daily work?
Spam filters. Disappear them.
Okay.
I'd say data is always a big challenge, like trying to keep data pools full, especially with clients that have a little bit more specific data requirements that give you smaller pools, just trying to keep going with the campaigns and working with the data and getting new data and balancing, re-hitting the same contacts with different messaging to try to get the best results for the client.
I think training our team, it can be hard because we have some members of the team who have been around a long time, and so just distilling that information. And Miles, our CEO, is brilliant and super creative, but how do we get him to not be the only one doing a certain function, or get more people on our team who are creative that can produce results at that level? And I think just as a team transferring that experience to new hires, that some of it comes with time, but how do you help that along or set up our team for success to continue to grow our business as we keep growing, to grow the team as well? And always I think that navigating the balance of hiring too fast or too slow, or like how do you manage that as well?
Mm-hmm. For me, it'd probably be forwarding. So the forwarding of the responses to our clients, because I know a lot of times some other like lead generation agencies might handle the first initial follow-ups for their clients and sort of get that client or that prospect to a booking stage. In our case, we forward everything to our clients just to allow them to handle it, since they know their business best. It's best to let the sort of professionals handle it. But there are times just with the tech where something goes wrong in that process, or the lead doesn't get to the client. And that can be frustrating both for the client, because that's a lost opportunity if they never ended up getting a lead, but it's also frustrating for us because we worked so hard to get them that lead, for it to have not gone anywhere is frustrating from our perspective. So I think forwarding would be a challenge that I wish would just go away, but it does not.
Yeah, if closing the leads would go away and every lead we generated would close, that would be amazing.
That's a more accurate expression. If everyone who said yes genuinely meant yes.
Or turned into high deals for our clients.
And be a good fit, right?
We'd be shaking and baking right now. But
how do you forward right now? Like, do you just, you mentioned you forward everything, and do you use the AI do you trust the AI fully, or do you do some manual work? What kind of, like, are you forwarding interested or maybes? Are you forwarding both?
So we don't forward unless the client has requested. Anyone that has expressed a not very kind sentiment to them, so like anyone who's not interested, for the most part, we won't forward along. We just forward the positives and nurtures, just because those are the most time important and time sensitive responses to get to. But we use integrations with API keys to help get responses from Woodpecker into our clients' inboxes. Just because while we do use the AI system that Woodpecker provides for us, as AI is still growing and learning, sometimes it gets things wrong. So it may think something's positive or nurture, but it's because we're humans and we can say that even though they said thanks at the bottom, they're not actually saying thank you. There's something not very kind right above it. That's not something that we want forwarded along to our clients. So there is some manual work still involved there when it comes to forwarding, just to make sure that everything's copacetic and going where it needs to be.
Okay, I think that's a wrap for today.
And thank you for your time.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
It was a pleasure.
Yeah.